Parents' night in, yeah, parents' night in. On the couch, watching films, drinking booze, making bad jokes. Welcome to another episode of Parents' Night In here at enough.com.
Ooh.
It is Halloween time once again.
Ooh.
And as a follow-up to our last episode about Frankenstein, we are watching Bride of Frankenstein.
Ooh.
Which most people will tell you is a superior film. And if they don't, just ask someone else.
Most people will tell you is a superior piece of shit.
No, this movie is not a piece of shit. I mean, the first one's not either. But
no, I know.
This movie is actually a pretty great film. It's silly in spots. It swings for the fences, to be sure. I mean, it's great. It's James Whale was coaxed back for a sequel because the studio, like Frankenstein was such a big hit, the studio said, please make another one. He's like, what else am I going to do? We've done this. It's a one-movie thing. And then he made The Invisible Man, which was also a hit, and the studio was like, no, please make another Frankenstein movie. And
I love The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man's a good movie. So he said, okay, I'll do a movie, but it's got to be the movie I want to make.
Yeah.
So they said, all right, you basically have carte blanche. Like, aside from whatever the censors are going to have a problem with, you can do whatever you want.
Do you think it's possible that they said, I'd really like you to make another movie, but please bring Una O'Connor on with you?
Yeah, they said, you know that annoying bitch from Invisible Man who's in hysterics all the time?
Remember Screamy Mimi?
Please bring her back. Please.
Remember Screamin' Susan?
Una O'Connor is a comedic genius.
Comedic genius.
Okay, so at the end of Frankenstein, the monster throws Henry off the windmill. He lands on the blades and he lands on the ground, and they're like, oh, let's take him home. And then he turns out to be okay, and they burn down the windmill, and the monster seemingly dies.
Womp, womp, womp.
So we start this film with a prologue of Mary Shelley and her husband and their friend Lord Byron, which is how she came to write the tale of Frankenstein. They were reined in on vacation, and they were just telling stories, and she came up with Frankenstein. And the two guys were like, holy shit, that's incredible, you need to write that.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it was just a short story, like a ghost story, basically, that she told, because they were bored. She was 16 years old, or something.
It's a good thing they got bored.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be
16,
talking right
17
now.
years old.
We'd probably be sitting in separate rooms looking at our phones.
Yep. So she was struggling to come up with something, like, because Lord Byron obviously was very prolific, and her husband, Percy Shelley, was, I guess, a pretty talented writer. So they were on vacation, and the two guys had told their stories, and she was like, I don't have anything right now. I'll let you know when I have something. And then they went to bed, and she had a nightmare, basically, a vision of a doctor creating a monster. And she was like, that's amazing. I need to explore that. And that became her short story.
Did she publish it under Mary Shelley?
Mary Shelley. And a lot of people at the time, because she was a woman, assumed that Percy Shelley had written it and put her name on it just to make her famous.
I'm surprised they didn't burn her at the stake for being a witch,
Yeah.
because she came up with an idea of her own.
No shit.
Wait a minute. That woman had several thoughts of her own? Burn her at the stake. She's a witch.
She probably floats.
Do you think she's made of wood?
So the book became a massive hit, and she never became, like, rich off of it, but, you know, she
probably did okay for herself.
yeah.
She probably was able to eat eggs every day.
She was a bit of a one-hit wonder, but, I mean, when your one hit is one of the greatest novels ever written, and one of the most iconic stories ever written, that's something. So that's what this whole prologue is basically catching you up on what happened in the first movie. Now, Bride of Frankenstein is basically, it was one of the first sequels. It was, I think, the first really noteworthy sequel, maybe. So they didn't pay attention to things like continuity between movies. First off, this movie starts at the windmill after it's been burned down, and it's assumed that Henry is dead, even though at the end of the first film, we see that he's not dead. Also, two of the characters from the first film have been recast with actors who look absolutely nothing like them. Mm-hmm. The Burgomaster, for example. Do you remember what the Burgomaster looked like?
Yeah.
First movie, kind of wild, curly hair, kind of portly. Pay attention when they introduce him again here. And
there she is. Hello, Una.
Una O'Connor. She wasn't there in the first one. There he is. That's the Burgomaster now.
He lost a lot of weight during that fire.
And grew a massive stash.
Is he, like, made of butter?
Why?
Because he melted during the fire. Justin, come on. Pay attention.
Like, even his clothes don't match.
You're better than that.
Sorry. Even his clothes don't match the first movie.
Yeah,
like, what were they thinking?
Well, you know what they were thinking? I've never made a movie number 2 before. Do I need to do something different?
I mean, just look at him.
Maybe the other guy died and they couldn't find anyone fat.
No, you know what? The 2 guys that were recast with actors who look nothing like them are in the 3rd movie as different characters. That's what's so infuriating. The original Burgermaster's back in the 3rd movie.
Maybe they made somebody mad.
It's so strange. And there's Maria's dad, the little girl who got drowned. What's funny is they show the original actor at the beginning of this movie in the recap. And then it's a different actor with no mustache. Jesus Christ, James. The monster not dead.
He's like, shut up, lady. And
oh my God. He just
like
dropped
throws her
on
in.
her head.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And you know what? The owl's like,
I was like, whatever.
She deserved that.
It's not even the worst thing I've seen today.
Yeah.
Una O'Connor's reaction. It's like a cartoon.
It is the best. Her eyes cross, her head tilts to the side.
Her eyes cross, her mouth goes... Ooh.
Yeah. Her head tilts to the side.
It's amazing.
Her hands go out like every bit of her
digit.
extremities is like stiff.
Yeah. What's hilarious is she is the Frankenstein's like housekeeper. Surely you would have remembered her from the first one, no? So two other things about the continuity. Frankenstein's house, not even remotely similar to what it was in the first movie.
Is the woman different?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
completely
the other thing.
different.
Completely different woman playing his wife.
Brown hair instead of blonde, right?
Yep.
And giant cans.
Oh, she's
gorgeous.
Valerie Hobson was a just absolute smoke
She's a
show.
babe. Yeah, she's a babe.
She's 17 years old here.
She does not look it. She looks like what a 34-year-old looks like now. You look at a 17-year-old now and you're like, oh, that's a cute little baby.
Yeah.
When did you learn how to walk, little miss?
What's gross about this movie is Colin Clive, who plays Henry, 35.
It's not gross. I mean...
35 and 17, and they're supposed to be married? That's gross.
It's Hollywood.
I know that. That's disgusting. He's twice her age.
Yeah.
More.
You're so liberated. You're so woke.
So, yeah, the set is completely different. In the first movie, it was this vertical
and this is
house
like
with all these beams
this cavernous
and stuff.
thing.
And now it's a cave, essentially. This gothic cavern. Yeah, Valerie Hobson is the one bit of continuity discrepancy that I do not mind at all. Because
she's gorgeous, yeah.
And she's a much better actress than Mae Clarke.
Oh, yeah, the other one was very stiff.
Yeah. Valerie Hobson overacts a little bit at times, but...
So does Una O'Connor.
But now where you find out that Henry's okay, even though we already knew he was okay. Colin Clive did not look well in this movie.
Well, he's sick in this scene.
No, just in the whole movie. He looks 10 years older than he did in the first one. It's because he was a very bad drunk. He died, I think, 2 years after this.
Jesus.
37 years old. Yeah, Valerie Hobson was...
absolutely gorgeous.
God damn. This is a great scene. She's just in hysterics. She's like, I was so afraid you were dead. There was like an apparition reaching out to me. There. And then there's a knock at the door. And it's this flaming old homosexual.
Jesus.
I mean, that's how he's played. I think that's how he's written. Dr. Pretorius is... I mean, James Whale was gay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Openly gay director. And this movie is full of metaphors of the outsider and both like the social outsider and the sexual outsider. And I mean, this scene is this old flamboyant man who lures Henry out of his marital bed. And when you think about it, it's kind of shocking some of the metaphors that he jammed into this movie, considering the time. And I think if it weren't a horror movie that was...
going to have a more limited audience anyway?
Well, no, not a more limited audience, but like the uninitiated audience member would just be like, oh, it's just this weirdo who's trying to get Henry to help him. But like anyone who kind of knew what they were seeing was probably like, whoa, this is kind of shocking. This movie had a lot of problem with the censors because this was after the Hays Code was implemented, which I think was the year before this. So there are moments, religious iconoclasty, is that the word?
I think so.
Iconoclastism?
Iconoclasticization.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That they had to change, but in changing it, he actually kind of made it more blasphemous.
Iconoclasticism.
Yep. That was it.
I don't think I can say it again.
Fortunately, it's been recorded.
I'm pretty sure that was the only one.
For all to hear.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you isolate that word and then send it to me as a WAV file so I can put it on my phone so that whenever I need to use it in conversation in the real world, I can just press a button.
Okay.
And it will say it. I think it would probably be pretty smooth if I time it well. I'm going to practice.
Okay. So Dr. Pretorius is a mad scientist who comes to Henry to help him because he's kind of a fan. I'm not sure how he knows what Henry did. Really?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, too, because
it's not like Henry was like, hey, I made a guy.
And there wasn't social media. It wasn't like he posted an Instagram picture with the Heffa filter.
Hashtag I made a man.
Hashtag playing God. Hashtag
Hashtag fire bad.
That's this movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love the way these guys pronounce the word experiments. 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 The humble abode.
He's got an interesting
Lisp. The actor's name is Ernest Thesiger.
That's a hard name to say when you have a lisp.
Ernest Thesiger.
I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?
Ernest Thesiger. How many times must I say it? For the last time. Ernest Thesiger. I won't say it again.
I'm sorry. So what I heard was
Son of a bitch. My name is Ernest Thesiger.
Okay, Mr.
I'm going home. Good luck making Bride of Frankenstein without Ernest Thesiger.
I like how he thinks they're not going to have a movie without him. He hasn't even actually auditioned because they couldn't get his name.
This is just the introduction.
Susie.
Susie? Oh. I thought Susie was the next auditioner. Yes, I'm here to audition for the part of Dr. Pretorius.
My abs hurt. Susie, can
Baron
you do me...
Frankenstein, can you help me with my experiments? Well, that's good. I think we're good. We'll see you next week for shooting.
Can you block Ernest from future auditions, please?
How do you spell that? Susie, you're fired.
How do you spell that? I just said it.
So Pretorius is showing...
You'll know it when you see it.
Dr. Pretorius is showing Henry his experiments. And it's basically a bunch of little people in jars.
Which is, so cool.
It's a really cool effect. It is seamless. Especially
and they have,
for
the little mouse voices. It is seamless.
I'm not sure how they even did that. I mean,
I've always been amazed by it.
It was probably
green screen.
No, they didn't have green screen. It was probably a rear projection kind of thing. But you really can't tell, because you can see his hand moving behind them and stuff. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how they did that. Yeah, I guess they must have had compositing. It was probably them in front of a black background, I guess. So a double exposure maybe.
It is so well done.
It looks really good.
Because, when you watch things that are older and green screenish or composite, and
you can see matte lines.
And the individual image is shifting in front of the background image.
Right.
This is not happening here.
Yeah.
And every angle that you're at, they look really good.
Yeah. One thing that's great about this movie is the lighting. It's very harsh, film noir.
Yeah.
And film noir hadn't even been invented yet. This is probably one of the movies that kind of influenced film noir as far as lighting and weird camera angles, Dutch angles, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of that in this movie.
When Dr. Thesiger walked in earlier in the movie, there's a sort of a big horn crescendo, and then the lighting is really cool so that it sort of shines on him, but his shadow is a few feet taller than him behind him. So yeah, he looks sort of like a monster when he comes in. So you kind of get the impression that okay, this guy's maybe not as good.
Yeah. This shot is great too, just the lighting, the way the shadow on half of his face.
Yeah.
like his crow's feet.
He's quite wrinkly.
Yes. It's a very striking, angular kind of face. And then we catch up with the monster. He's wandering around the woods looking for food. And then he catches a reflection of himself in the lake, and he's like, ugh, Jesus, I need a shower? At the very least. One of the nice details of this movie is his hair burned off in the windmill fire, but it gradually grows back throughout the movie.
Oh.
The way they did the makeup was also very different. In the first movie, they had to sort of gradually build it up with cotton and collodion in layers. And in this movie, they figured out a sort of rubber headpiece that could go on more easily. So Karloff wouldn't have to sit in the chair for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
It doesn't look quite as good to me. It looks better toward the end when his hair kind of grows back. So the villagers have been alerted to the presence of the monster. The monster.
He's still alive, damn it!
And they're telling the burgomaster. And the burgomaster's like, God damn it, I was just on my treadmill. Combing my moustache. It's brand new, you know.
I've lost weight in a matter of hours.
I was using Trim Spa.
Trim Spa. Hello, Una. Why is she the only woman that came out? Oh, she's not.
How come she's supposed to be the Frankenstein's housekeeper? She's never there. She's always out, sticking her nose, her giant nose.
She's a busybody.
Where it doesn't belong. So it's like, oh, what's the monster doing? I need to find out if they've caught him.
Is she related to Rita?
I don't think she's related to Rita.
Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be. Oh, look, it's a very obvious Jesus reference. They've tied him up to a stick, and he's upright, as though crucified.
And they're all throwing rocks at him and stuff.
Now they're going to take him to the jail. Poor monster. He's treated very shabbily.
Maybe he shouldn't have killed that little girl.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have killed the little girl. That did not help his case.
No.
What are we drinking?
We are drinking some bubbly rosé, Shandon variety.
Shambum.
Shambum.
It's quite delicious.
Yes. We're having a little bit of a celebration because I got promoted. Woo! I'm now head bitch in the house.
I used to be head bitch, but my term was up. So
yeah, and you know what, Justin?
We like to Kelly head bitch. She won by a landslide. It was either her or the dog.
His criteria was wicked mean.
And the dog tends to shit herself a lot, so we said, oh, let's give Kelly a try. It's unconventional.
Yeah. It was a rigorous audition process.
Mm. Oh no, he's breaking out. He's breaking out of his chair that they chained him to.
You know what I think someone needs to do? Frankenstein 2018.
Like a current version?
That would be so cool.
They tried to do that with a TV series, like a miniseries in 2004. Didn't work out so well.
Because people were like, dude, why do you have bolts in your neck? And he was like, I'm a hipster, leave me alone.
Yeah. Don't bolt shame me. I'm LG Bolt T.
Bolt lives matter.
So the monster broke out of prison because that prison was, let's face it, weak ass. Again, Una, why aren't you at your job? You're just hanging around the village waiting for people to scream?
I think she works nights.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because she's always up at night answering doors and running around with candles. So during the day, that, you know why? She likes to work at night because it frees her up during her day to busybody around.
Because I guess the Frankenstein household has a lot going on at night.
It's a 24/7 household, Justin.
I guess. She's the night shift.
Do you expect the Baron?
Does she not sleep?
Do you expect the Baron to get up at 3 a.m. when someone knocks on the door? No.
I guess not.
No. What if he wants toast?
Here comes the best performance in the whole movie. A bunch of gypsies. Where's the pepper and salt? We need pepper and salt. Okay, don't you worry. She's
smoking a pipe and goes,
she got paid for that.
I could do it.
The monster showed up. He's like, can I have some chicken? Please?
He's like, guys, I'm wicked hungry, but if you're going to scream, just fuck off.
Thanks. You just knocked the chicken into the fire, you fucker. Oh, he burned his hand reaching for the chicken. Stupid.
He was just hungry and he got punished.
Then he hears violin music playing. What's
that? This is my favorite part.
Yes, this is probably the best part of the movie.
So good.
Where he finds the old blind man and they form a bond.
Because the blind man can't see that he's hideous.
Yeah.
Or dead.
Here's my problem, though. He probably smells like shit.
Yeah, but also in those days, anyone who wanders into a blind man's cabin in the woods probably smells like shit.
So the blind man is just like, whatever. You're not the worst person I've smelled today.
You smell like shit. Do you need a place to stay?
I don't have a shower, but I could set you on fire. That'd get rid of the smell.
I could set you on fire. That's going to be the solution. You know what I hear makes smells go away?
Fire.
Flames.
A fiery death will put an end to that.
A towering inferno.
It's a very touching scene.
It is.
He's a lonely old blind man who just wants a friend.
And he's very friendly, and he's very sweet.
Yes.
And you get to see the soft side of the monster, because most of the time in this movie, when he reacts badly, it's because someone reacts badly to him first. Like, he always goes into the situation like, no, I'm not scary. And they're like, Rah! And he's like, no, I'm not scary. And they're like, Rah! And then he's like, just shut up. And then he, like, strangles them or throws them into a river.
It captures the spirit of the novel kind of better than anything else had. I mean, this sequence is right out of the novel, too. This actually happens in the book. He finds a lonely blind man and they make friends for a little while. But the idea that the monster is just looking for friendship and everyone hates him because he's disgusting.
Yeah. He's also decomposing, so he probably smells like shit, period.
Oh, yeah. He was burned to death and then he was in, like, standing water and then he got shot and he hasn't bathed ever.
Right, and he came from a grave.
Yeah. Well, I assume that they cleaned off the body parts before they stitched them together.
Maybe. But I don't think that you can get rid of death rotting.
Dead person smell?
Yeah, I think death rot is probably a smell that's really hard to bleach out of the skin of an organism you're trying to bring back to life.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know these things because I have not done this experiment.
Experiment.
Damn it.
Those clothes have got to be secondhand, too.
Yeah, well, he did have a lot of really large suits hanging around the house, so... He must have had a really, really big uncle with short arms.
And giant feet.
Yeah.
And gout.
I wear these big orthopedic shoes because I got a bad case of the gout.
I know you're freaked out by my flat head and bolts, but there's no need to shout. He made him some soup. He finally gets to eat something. And he lays the monster down in his bed and he just says, please just relax. You're safe here. It's okay. And then they hold hands. And it's another bit of subtext by James Whale. Two men finding love together. God has sent two lonely people together.
Two lonely hearts.
Given me a friend. And the old man is so moved, he's moved to tears. And so is the monster. That shot is a little bit suggestive.
It is.
And there's a cross there that lingers for a second. Flouting tradition almost. The monster's first words.
Yay!
Bread!
I mean, if I'm going to have a first word, bread's going to be it. Yum.
I think that was Oprah's first word.
Yeah.
I love bread. They gave him some wine to drink. He hasn't mastered the art of drinking yet. He's still like, it's spilling out of his mouth when he...
Yeah. Well, he's basically a 2-year-old.
That's true.
He's learning the finer art of conversation.
No, he's freaked out because the man has lit a match to light his cigar, and he's like, "Arr!" And he said, no, smoke is okay. Smoke is good.
Smoke is good. Try it.
You know, you shouldn't hook children on cigars.
Yeah.
It's not right.
He's barely a toddler. You degenerate.
Oh, he inhaled. He feels awful now. Nausea is about to set in.
Yeah, he's turning green.
No, he's already green. The third film, they planned to do in color originally.
So they made him blue?
No, they did the makeup just kind of the way they had done it here, but no one was happy with the way it looked in color. It was kind of a pale green. They didn't like it, so they were just like, let's make it black and white. Worked the first 2 times, why not?
Right.
And they never made a color one. Because the makeup didn't look right.
Wasn't De Niro Frankenstein?
He was. In Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Kenneth Branagh.
Was it good?
Aspects of it were good. De Niro was actually really good as the monster. He was the best thing about it. Kenneth Branagh was terrible. He directed it as well.
Yeah.
And as you know...
I only know this because you've told me.
He's a good actor, not good when he's directing himself. He overacts like crazy, and he does that throughout that movie. Helena Bonham Carter's in it, and she's really good. Tom Hulce is good. John Cleese is in it, and he's great. But he's not in it very much. He plays Professor Waldman. But the movie doesn't work. It's a mess. And it's so over the top. It's like funny unintentionally. And now he wanders through a graveyard, which is also a great set.
It's where he got his stat.
So there's a shot right here, that statue of the bishop there. What was originally supposed to happen in this scene is he comes across this statue of Jesus and thinks he's in trouble and tries to save him. And the censors said, no, that's blasphemy, you can't do that. So James Whale changed it in the script to he finds a statue of a bishop and knocks it over. And that's way more blasphemous than trying to save Jesus.
Yeah.
But he snuck it into the script because back then when the censors would read scripts, they would read the original script, and then if you made changes, they wouldn't really bother thoroughly checking. So any changes sort of just got right by them.
Not very good at their jobs, then.
No, they weren't. They were lazy.
No.
So the monster wanders into a tomb, and he sees a dead woman lying there who must have been very recently buried because she's not decomposed at all yet.
Right.
And he says, oh, something just moved in my trousers.
Oh, my God. I definitely did not think that's where you were going.
He discovered his sexuality. But wait, someone else is in the tomb.
He sees dead people.
He sees Ernest Thesiger. They found a body, or a skeleton that they like. They're going to put some stuff on her, and then she'll be okay to be brought to life.
Because if you like it, then you should have put some stuff on it.
And muscles, and some veins, and some genitals, and some hair, and some toenails, and some boobs. And now he's decided to have a lovely meal in the tomb.
And a laugh.
With the coffin. He's having a picnic and some booze.
Yeah, and he's hanging out with a skeleton.
He's a fucking whack job.
Yeah.
Did he bring those candles with him?
Apparently.
Jesus.
He brought candles and wine.
He must be like a necrophiliac. Then the monster shows up and he's like, what the hell's going on here? What is this? What kind of perverted sex pop flop party is this? I thought I was alone. And he says, since you're smoking, you must be my friend, because my other friend smoked. Right. Actually, that's kind of like 6-year-old logic.
Yeah.
Harry has logic like that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Oh, we got some food. Oh, have some wine.
He's like, hello, strange older man sitting in a crypt. Can I have some of your smoke? Oh, yes, sure, I'll get you high.
Can I have some wine?
Yeah, drink that too.
It's quite a convenient coincidence that the monster ran into the guy who was trying to make a mate for him.
What a lucky monster.
This was the first, I believe the first of the Universal movies to use music, to have an actual score. And the score actually gives the monster and the bride their own themes. Henry is having second thoughts about this relationship with this strange man.
Well, he's very strange, and he keeps yelling his name at me, and it spits all over my face. What am I supposed to do about it?
Henry, I thought we were going to finish our experiments.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
Experiments!
And I also need a handkerchief.
Say it, don't spray it.
I asked for the news, not the weather.
Elizabeth has convinced Henry that he needs to have no more association with this man. Supreme collaboration. Why doesn't anyone talk like that anymore? Everyone should talk like that, Kelly.
It would take a long time to get a sentence out.
That's true.
Tomorrow, I'm going to go to work and take the commuter rail from Greenbush to South Station. And then I'm going to go to
Cambridge.
Kendall Square.
Oh no, he's brought the monster as muscle. It's a great moment when the monster talks to Henry for the first time and flips the whole scene from the first movie where Henry's like, sit down, sit down. The monster says, sit down.
I think that weird salt and pepper gypsy lady was related to him.
So Pretorius said, all right, the usual stuff isn't working. Let's get a little more extreme, shall we? Send the monster after the wife. That'll get Henry on board, won't it?
Yeah.
Nothing like a little kidnapping to motivate someone.
Her headdress is ridiculous, Minnie's headdress.
It's always ridiculous. I wonder where she buys those headdresses.
Probably the ridiculous store.
She buys them at a store called Over the Line.
Over the top of my hat.
Oh, it's the second time the monster has confronted Elizabeth. Except the monster's like, wait a minute, you don't look the same.
Yeah, he's
Did you do something to your hair?
Wait a minute. And also, this room's completely different. What has happened to this house?
What's going on?
Did you guys move?
I learned to talk and then everything goes haywire.
I like it. The Baroness is gone!
She's doing the thing where she's like chewing on her own lip to keep from screaming.
I'm sorry, wait, what? No, you have to actually open your lips. I can't understand what you're saying.
Ah! No, you still have to make words, though. I still need words. Use your words, monster. You know how to use them now. Don't just rah.
Yeah, but she's not friend or smoke or fire bad or wine.
Or bread.
Yeah, or bread.
She's not friend or smoke. Only my friends and smoke call me Frankie. You're neither. They're back to the original laboratory, except the staircase has become much less steep than it originally was.
Yeah, that original staircase was cool.
How did that happen?
You know what, Justin? Erosion.
This looks like the same set, more or less.
Erosion.
Erosion in the laboratory.
Probably due to an experiment.
An architectural experiment.
An architectural anomaly.
Wow. Ooh, drink. That distracts me, I know that. That liquor was drugged.
He's been poisoned. Too bad poison wasn't in his repertoire. He might have known to avoid it.
Like his word repertoire?
Yeah.
I thought you meant his music repertoire. Too bad he didn't listen to Poison.
Feel good.
That's Motley Crue, Kelly.
Oh.
God damn it.
Skinny pop pop.
Jesus.
Every rose has its thorn.
And give me something to stick my dick in.
Oh my God, why?
'Cause I'm a dead guy. No?
That's what you think he's thinking about?
Yes. Sexuality.
Sexual tatiousness.
Sexual tallalassiness.
Is it something to do with Florida?
Yeah, it's a town in Florida. Dutch angle. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Love the Dutch angle.
Explain to the uninitiated what a Dutch angle is.
A Dutch angle is a tilted camera shot where everything is off balance.
I think they call it a Dutch angle because someone also farts while the shot's being taken and then they make everyone smell it.
Yeah, I think you're confusing that with a Dutch oven. I don't see the correlation other than the word Dutch. But this scene...
Why did Dutch ovens get named? Those poor Dutch people are like, why are fart things named after me?
Why does everyone think we cook our food in farts? There's a lot of electrical equipment that I do not understand in these films. Mm-hmm. All designed by Kenneth Strickfaden.
Because a lot of them go bzzz.
They go bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. Wake up. Drink some wine.
The movie's over in like 7.5 minutes.
I know. You need to stay awake for 7.5 minutes.
What if I stay awake for 7 minutes and 28 seconds or so?
Then I'm going to tell everybody some horrible things about you, and they're going to get published on YouTube.
How is that different than any other episode of Parents Night In?
It'll be different.
It'll be different.
Some great lighting in this scene, too.
Yeah. Lots of close-ups on equipment.
Yep. Lots of high contrast.
Dr. Frankenstein is sweating. He's sweating bullets, Margaret.
Who's Margaret?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now it's on the roof, where it will be struck by lightning.
Oh, boy. Hold on to your undies, lady.
And somehow that thing hovering over the
Ma'am,
dead body will...
I hope your pubes don't burn off.
Oh, my God.
Ma'am?
You dropped your pubes.
I was going to say, you lost your kite.
Nope.
But you dropped your pubes. Probably one of the best lines in cinematic history. You're not even in a movie.
One thing that's interesting, in the first movie, Boris Karloff was not a name, so he was not even in the opening credits.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's billed before the title.
And
he was such a huge star by
Karloff.
Just Karloff, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even Boris Karloff.
Yep.
Maybe because Boris the Spider was out and it was like a big deal.
No, Boris the Spider was not out.
Boris the Spider was like, I can't have another Boris.
I can't even.
It's like that would be like if Madonna had another Madonna and Madonna doesn't have another Madonna.
Karloff.
So if Madonna can't have another Madonna, then there can't be another Boris. This Boris the Spider it is. Go fuck off, Karloff.
Fuck off, Karloff. That's a lovely poem you've written. Oh my God, her eyes open. And Henry's really excited about it. It's alive! This thing I didn't want to make.
It's alive! Oh, shit!
Oh, they fitted her with a lovely dress randomly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's made out of bed sheets.
Teased her hair. This, 1 minute that Elsa Lanchester has on screen is a pretty great performance.
Mm. It's interesting because the movie's called Bride of Frankenstein and she's in it for 10 seconds.
Barely in it.
Yeah. They're like, there she is! The end.
Yeah. But her performance is great. She modeled her performance after swans.
Mm.
She was walking around with her husband and looking at swans, and she was like, oh, they move their heads interestingly.
Mm.
I'll use that. And then the monster shows up and he's like, ooh, is that my trim?
My trim. Jesus, I hate that word.
She's like, what the fuck is that? And even she doesn't like him. You promised me a friend.
Yeah.
Why don't she like me?
She's gonna like me.
God damn it.
It's like the first time we met, and I was like, ah! And you were like, it's fine. We're gonna be married in 15 years.
So here's a question. Why is there a lever in the middle of the laboratory that would blow up the entire laboratory?
I don't know.
That's my one gripe about this movie.
Yeah.
Is the laboratory has a very obvious self-destruct mechanism that anyone could accidentally lean on.
She's
The
pissing
monster
out like a
would
cat.
rather just be dead than go on without a friend.
Yeah.
So that shot right there. Henry's in that shot. Because
Oh.
originally he was supposed to die along with everybody else. And test audiences or somebody said, you can't kill Henry.
Right.
So they reshot the scenes where Henry and Elizabeth escape. But they forgot to nix him from that shot.
Oh,
They live
boy.
happily ever after.
What an ordeal.
But then Henry's not in any other Frankenstein movies.
That was ridiculous.
So that's Bride of Frankenstein.
It's a good one. I like that one a lot.
It's very good. It's
I really loved all the stuff with the blind man.
Yep.
And I do feel sad for the character of the monster.
yes.
He's just so cute and innocent and sad.
I mean, cute. I don't know about cute, but
Not cute like your face is adorable, but cute like
he's
"Aw,
innocent. He's
Hims-
childlike.
Hims doesn't know anything.
Yeah, unlike in the first movie where there was this weird dichotomy of he's supposed to be childlike and also a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, he's just childlike and he just wants to be loved. And it's the closest this series ever came to the novel. Which of the two Frankenstein films do you like better, the first or
Bride.
the second? Bride.
Yes.
I agree. I think most people agree.
Yeah.
And it's informed by the first one. Like it's
Right.
You need both, but it's like a double album where the second disc is better. We hope you've enjoyed this. Or as Ernest Thesiger would say, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Frankenstein. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and follow us on Twitter, MeWe, and Facebook.